I'm Alfred Brendel. I used to be a pianist. I used to live a double life. I'm also a literary person, lecturing, giving readings of my poems, and teaching, for instance, in Verbier. I would not mention the chalets because this is an architecture that I not particularly enjoy. The style and the scope of helping young people here seems to me quite extraordinary. Well, Liszt is one of the most fascinating personalities, not only of the 19th century. He is not a straightforward character. There is a lot of variety and ambiguity in this person and in the composer. And I think it's interesting to think about it and talk about it. There was also a lot of prejudice against Liszt, which fortunately now is not as bad as it was 50 years ago. The fact is that his output in compositions is very uneven, but the best works are, in my opinion, to be compared with the piano works of Chopin and Schumann. And apart from everything else, apart from having been the greatest performer of his time, he was also a precursor of 20th century music like no one else in this generation. Well, even good instruments are sometimes not in the best shape, and good technicians are very rare. I mean, there's the piano tuner who can maybe tune extremely well, but does not know enough about the workings of the action and the consistence of the felts. A piano, in order to be even from top to bottom, has sometimes to be voiced, pricked with needles, but in the right way in order not to damage the hammer. And this is done too rarely, and there are actually too few people who are competent enough to do it. This is something that has to be done in conjunction with a pianist. This was a development of the last, I don't know, 10, 15 years, that suddenly pianos got clangy and also much harder to manage, so that you have to beat them up. But some of this has been reversed since, and one can still find wonderful Steinways if one is lucky, and particularly if one has a good technician at hand. I grew up in a family that was not musically inclined, not artistically inclined, and not intellectual. So I had to find out a lot of things for myself. My parents were loving and they were reliable, and I'm very grateful for this. But in other ways, it was my own development. I also didn't have an academic teacher after the 16th year. It was a slower process, but it was my own, and I'm actually very happy in hindsight that it went this way. I was a young person who in the early 20s did not think I have to achieve something within 5 years, but I thought I would like to be able to do certain things when I'm 50. And when I was 50, I said to myself, I have actually done most of the things that I want to do, but it's going on. There is quite a lot of things still to do. And even now, after I stopped concertizing, my musical mind is still working and developing, and this is gratifying.